The show is that time on the show where we look at markets, and I have Mukhtar Mohammed, who's the Chief Executive Officer, Finance with Mukhtar, joining me virtually also to analyze the trading performance at the NGX for today. The market is closing negative with all share index down 0.07%. Top gainers, we have Japo Gold, we have Honeywell Flour, we have Connest, we have Lasaco, we have United Capital PLC. Top losers, we have RT Briscoe, Industrial Medicals Gases Nigeria PLC, we have Sky Aviation, we have Air Lakes, and we have Caverton. Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed, are you there? All right, then let's start. My colleague also is in the studio. Fyongekop, 0.07% to the start of the week. What is your overview of what we saw last week and how we're starting the new week?
The week is starting negative, and we should expect more of trading in the red territory. Generally, I do not beat my chest to say that we will be having very high volumes and high value anytime soon, because of the level of troubles that we see around the markets and the larger economy. Investors somehow they have a kind of fatigue in playing big in the market. Not much of incentives, you see around. The rest of the things are almost direct disincentives to investment. And this month of August, we are going to see investors relax more on the sales windows, and then only those who are really curious and futuristic in their portfolio planning will like to seize opportunity of lower prices that we have now in many of the market subsectors. Attention used to go to the banks, and we've seen many of the half-year results from majority of the financial institutions. And so it seems that investors will want to relax because they are not even being encouraged by many of the manufacturing companies due to their inabilities to cope with their production schedules because of economic hardships and different other issues. And so trading pattern would still continue to nosedive as far as I can see.
Well, it's a great one. There, let's have Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed, who's also joining us via Zoom. Mr. Mohammed, I don't know if you're sharing the same sentiments with Effiong here. The market is starting the week low.
Well, it's expected, like Effiong said, investors' perception is still very, very low. We're seeing some movement in terms of volume from stocks that made capital appreciation to stocks that you can begin to collect dividends, interim dividends. And I think that will continue to play out. And remember that most of these companies that are paying interim dividends have not released their second quarter results yet, even if most investors know how much is expected for them to pay. And like you said, in the manufacturing sector, if you look at the numbers that came out from Nigerian breweries and the numbers that came out from Guinness Nigerian PLC, they are very fantastic numbers. But yet, because of investors' perception of the market, especially via microeconomic indices that are not looking good at the moment, you still expect investors to still be in the side of caution in the short term.
So what's your outlook as we move on? Are we going to remain on this negative trend?
Tulu, I think as it stands now, we'll be seeing oscillation between the negative and the positives. But I expect that when those results comes in, when those numbers are good, and then when we see the inflationary figure, when we see what we are earning by and the fixed income space, and then the stock market, then investors will begin to make their decision. But on a short time, I don't see anything spectacular happening. Even when those results come, I don't see those big impact that we expect. The impact will begin to come. We start seeing the third quarter results, and then you look at it by and by at the end of the year. Then that's when we could say, okay, we will see those impact. But for now, we'll continue to see the market being in the negative and the positive, depending on bargain hunting. And once the good stocks that are selling low, like what we have now, we have Nigerian Brewery, we have Guinness Nigerian PLC, we have Getco Guaranty Trust Bank Limited, we also have Zenith Bank, we still have Access Bank, We still have some good stocks that are selling at premium. Also, you have Boa Food, Boa Cement, and also Dangote Sugar and Dangote Cement. These have brought in they've brought in very impressive numbers. But because of the situation in the microeconomy space, we are not seeing those movements. So it's high time investors that are looking in the market, like I always say, it is time for value investment. And what I mean by value investment is that you invest for the long term, taking opportunity of the short term downfall of those good stocks, and knowing that these stocks have always been stocks that pay good dividend and always attract capital appreciation.
I must thank you for your time, Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed.
Thank you, Tolulope.
All right, anything our last one on the markets?
Tolu, the stock market is never static. Rather, it is a barometer measuring the reality in the economy. And what we have seen is the reality that investors, are portraying, how their feelings and the conditions that they look at the market and the economy portray. So negativity is, enveloping everywhere. You cannot, wish away this because it's been around for a long time. And you look at the indices, the indicators are telling you that, well, for now, it's going to be like this.
All right.
And so that is it. So we stay in it. Our market is dynamic. Whenever good things happen, they will respond positively.
That's what we can take. Thank you so much, Effiong Gekop.